Carl Maxey will forever be known as the first black person from Spokane to pass the Washington State Bar exam. By the time of his death, he was one of the best-known lawyers in America. Tim Egan wrote, "Had Carl Maxey lived only to pass the bar examination, his life would have been mythic enough." Born to a single mother in Tacoma, Washington, he was given up for adoption and sent to Spokane. Carl ended up in the Spokane Children's Home Orphanage, and his adoptive father disappeared and his mother died. When Carl was 12, the home board decided it would no longer care for African American children, and he was placed in the Spokane County Juvenile Detention Center. Years later, he wrote, "So if you're wondering where some of my fire comes from, it comes from a memory that includes this event." He went to school in the day and home to jail at night. Recall his widow, Mary Lou Maxey. At show and tell in school, he used to say, "I was it." As a teen, he was placed in the Sacred Heart Indian Mission operated by the Jesuits in De Smet, Idaho. Maxey returned to Spokane and attended Gonzaga Prep, where he lettered in football, basketball, track, and graduated in 1942. During World War II, Carl served as a medic in the Army, only to come home to find that the bars in Spokane wouldn't serve him, even in uniform. After the war, he attended the University of Oregon and Gonzaga University, becoming a collegiate boxing standout. Undefeated in collegiate boxing, Carl tried out for the 1948 Olympic boxing team, but lost his first bout. 2 years later, he won the NCAA light heavyweight boxing championship by defeating the captain of the 1948 Olympic team. In 1951, Carl became the first African American to graduate from Gonzaga Law School and to practice law in Spokane. He was active in the civil rights movement from the start of his practice. In 1964, Carl traveled to Mississippi with two other attorneys to join the fight after 3 civil rights workers were murdered. Carl later called his time in Mississippi one of the finest episodes in his life. It was, he said, the first time both black and white worked together hand in hand as a matter of humanitarian concern, the right to vote and the right to live. Known as a brilliant attorney and persuasive orator, Carl handled many controversial and high-profile cases throughout his career. He defended conscientious objectives and once convinced Washington governor not to send a prisoner escapee back to Georgia, where he was facing execution. Upon his death, a statement was read. It would be his hope that all of us, as individuals, will do our parts to stand up against injustice and oppression. Years after he passed, Carl was honored as the namesake of the Carl Maxey Center, a black-led and black-centered nonprofit based in Spokane's East Central neighborhood that serves as a cultural center and gathering place addressing the needs of Spokane African American black community, helping to transform it from the inside out. What better legacy for an orphan who became a giant in sports, civil rights, the law, politics, and who will forever be known as an unrelenting champion of the underdog. Now it's my great honor to welcome the one and only Carl Maxey to the Gonzaga Prep Hall of Fame.